Only storyline, voiceover, and video editing is mine. If you like my work, then please subscribe to my channel. You are getting ready while ignoring your husband, Jungkook, completely, who is standing beside you. Being shy, you are avoiding his gaze. Because first, the way he made you hurt skipped a bit with his kind gesture, and then today, when you wake up, you found yourself in his arms, nuzzling your face on his neck, hugging him like he is a teddy. When you wake up, he was admiring you already. It was too much for your poor heart to handle. Are you going to keep pretending I am not here? Jungkook asked, his voice cutting through your thoughts. You didn't answer. He giggled softly, still shy about last night or can't say for morning. His lips curled into a teasing smirk. You snapped your head towards him. I am not shy. Sure you are not, he said, his tone dripping with amusement. Then would not you look at me? God, this man really loved teasing me. It's impossible to stay mad. Here, help me with my tie, he said simply, stepping closer. I'm not your personal assistant, you muttered, but you took the tie anyways, knowing it would be faster to just do it. Yes, because you are my wife. You didn't answer as you started looping the tie around his neck. Jungkook stood perfectly still, his gaze locked on you. The intensity of his eyes made you flutter. Your hands trembled slightly. The intensity of his eyes made you falter. Your eyes trembling slightly. Are you nervous again? He teased. No, you lied, focusing hard on the tie. He hummed, slightly leans towards you. You're blushing again, Mrs. Jeon. You ignored him, finishing the knot and stepping back. They are done. Before you could escape, Jungkook grabbed your wrist and pulled you closer. Not so soon, he said. Jungkook sat down on the bed and tugged you onto his lap, making your eyes widen in shock. You tried to pull out from his lap. What are you doing? Making things more interesting, he replied, his smirk never leaving his face. Let me go, you protested, but his grip was firm. His hand rested casually on your waist. Relaxed, he murmured, leaning in closer. You act like I am going to bite. Your heart was pounding so loudly, you were sure he could hear it. You can't do this. I can't, he repeated, his teasing tone. You're my wife. If I can't hold you like this, who can? You opened your mouth to argue, but the words died in your throat when he brushed a strand of hair behind your ear. You close your eyes to feel the euphoria feelings. You are too easy to tease, he whispered, his gaze dropping to your lips for a split second. You open your eyes, that's it. You glared at him. Your embarrassment doubled now. You are impossible, and you are adorable. You and Huff scrambling from his lap. Jungkook burst out laughing as you were leaving the room. You can run, but you can run away from me, Mrs. Jeon. He called after you, his laughter going behind you. As soon as you enter inside the office corridor floor, you frowned, glancing around, and other employees are looking down as if they are scared of you. Most of the desks were empty. The manager were passing by. You called him. Mr. Min, why is the office so empty today? Did I miss something? Mr. Min looked up, clearly uncomfortable. He hesitated, scratching the back of his neck before answering. Well, Mrs. Jeon, it's because Mr. Jeon fired some of the colleagues. Fired them? But why? It's because of what happened the other day. Some of the employees had spoken bad about you, and Mr. Jeon didn't take it slightly. What? Your jaw dropped in shock, shaking your head as you whispered to yourself, you really are impossible, Mr. Jeon. Did you say him something, Mrs. Jeon? Nothing, you replied quietly, shaking your head. Impossible or not, you are starting to realize that Jungkook's overprotectiveness may not be so easy at all. 1 month later, The moment you came to see your brother, he is giving you a look which is mix of mischief and knowing. What? You asked suspiciously, narrowing your eyes at him. So he began, drawing out the word. You didn't tell me you married Jungkook of all people. You froze, your hands rattling mid motion. Wait, how do you? He told me. He grinned. What? When? You widened your eyes. A few days ago, your brother admitted. He visited me while you were at work. Said he didn't want to keep anything from me, especially since you are important to both of us. He really said that? You think? We talked for a while. He told me about how you two got married and why. His voice softening. I know, sis, why you didn't told me. I'm not angry about it. So just relax. You gave him a relief smile. But you know what stood out to me? The way he talked about you. What do you mean? You blinked, your heart escaping a bit. The way he sees you, your brother said, his voice full of warmth. He notices everything about you. How hardworking you are, how much you care about others, even the little sparkle you have. He appreciates your throat tightening as you listen, your chest filling with a unfamiliar emotion. And he loves you, Yan. Your brother added, his gaze meeting yours. I could see it in the way he talked about you. He may not say it outright, but it's obvious in the way he treats you. You're really lucky to have him. Deep down, you know he loves you and also know that you love him too. Jungkook's actions, his quiet but steady presence, the way he seemed to understand you without you having to say anything, it all started to make sense. Maybe Jungkook wasn't just treating you well out of duty. He really did care for you. Jungkook isn't just a good husband, he is a good man. And I think if you let yourself, you may realize you're just as important to him as he is to you. You deserve to be happy. You bite your lips, your emotions threatening to overwhelm you. Thank you, Yunjun. I really needed this. Anytime. And tell Jungkook he has my approval. Not that he needs it, but still. He smirked. You lightly hit his chest while laughing. Jungkook, slowly. Just hold on, baby. Let me do my work properly. Finally, he removed the last pin from your hair, letting your hair down on the shoulder. Why are you torturing yourself with this useless hairpin? He murmured. Because it looks good, not that you would understand. You turned to glare at him. Open hair suits you better. His fingers brushing through your hair as he stepped closer, his body almost pressing against yours. His dark eyes were soft but intense. You wrapped your hand around his neck. You don't need to sugarcoat me. I am already melted by you. He chuckled, bringing her more close to him. What can I do? My wife deserves every compliment. I can't resist her. Oh, really? I'm just sad my wife never said the word I want to hear. He said in fake pouting. What if I told you today? You whispered, your voice trembling slightly. Jungkook's eyes widened slightly, his breath hissing as he researched your face for any sign of hesitation. Then I would say, I have been waiting my whole life to hear it. You smiled softly. Your both eyes locked with each other. I love you, Jungkook. You said, your voice filled with emotion. For a moment, he just stared at you, as though he couldn't believe what he would just hear. Then, in a heartbeat, he closed the distance between you, capturing your lips in your kiss that was both passionate and tender. His hands tightened around your waist, pulling you flesh against him as the kiss depended. He finally pulled back, his forehead rested against yours. his breath mingling with yours. Say it again, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. I love you, you repeated, your eyes glistering. God, I love you so much, he murmured, his lips trailing down your jaw to your neck, pressing soft, lingering kisses along your skin. You have no idea how happy you have just made me. You cupped his face, making him look at you. You have always made me happy, Jungkook, even when I didn't know it. I am yours. Jungkook was taken aback. The way you said, the way her eyes telling you some unspoken things. Jungkook lifted you effortlessly, carrying you to the bed with ease. He laid you down gently, his eyes never leaving yours as he hovered above you. You are everything to me, he said softly, brushing a stray straight of hair from your face. I will spend the rest of my life proving that to you. And as he kissed you again, you knew this was where you were meant to be, safe, loved, and completely his. One day, you were passing around the living room, a nervous energy bubbling inside you. Today, your mother in law is coming. What if she still thinks I am just here for his money? The thought kept circling in your mind, making your palms sweat and your heart race. Yuan, breathe, okay? She is coming to meet you, yes, but she is not going to judge you. I know it's been tough with her, but trust me. His humble thumbs brushed over your hands in slow, soothing circles. You nodded. When the doorbell rang, your heart jumped into your throat. Mom is here. Jungkook's voice called from the hallway, and you took a deep breath before walking into the entryway. Yuan, it's nice to meet you. As soon as she stepped, she gave her a polite tone. Yuan bowed slightly, feeling the weight of her gaze. Thank you for coming, Mrs. Jion. It's an honor to have you here. She nodded, her sharp eyes observing you closely as she stepped inside. You could feel her gaze on you, and it made your heart race again. Jungkook was by your side, his hand on your back, offering you silent support. Few hours later, the visit began with an air of formality. Mrs. John asked polite questions, her tone still a little guarded. But as the conversation went on, Mrs. John noticed her watching Jungkook, noticing how he smiled at you, how his demeanor had softened, the way he kept stealing glances at you when he thought no one was watching, the way he would reach for your hand without thinking. Jungkook's phone rang. He excused himself to take the phone. There was a few minutes awkward silence between you both. Then Mrs. Jeon started saying, I am glad my son have found someone who makes him this happy. Yeon blinked in surprise. You have brought something out in him that I haven't seen in a long time. She said quietly. He's always been so grumpy, but now he seems happy, happier than I have ever seen him. She gave you a smile. You felt a weight lift off your shoulders. The tension between you and her seems to melt away with her admission. Thank you, you said softly, your heart swelling at her words. I love him, Mrs. John, and I will always make sure he is happy. Call me mom. I am Jungkook mom, so now you're moms too. Tears built up in your eyes but didn't let this fall. You are happy she is finally accepted you. Seeing you emotional, Mrs. Jun hugged you. You hug her back. I am happy for you both. Take care of him, Yuan. He deserves someone like you. I will, Mom. You replied, breaking the hug. After that, things became more relaxed between you two, sharing stories of Jungkook's childhood and even teasing him about how he used to be terrible cook. Jungkook rolled his eyes but couldn't help but laugh along with his mother. Mrs. Jeon left the house after the dinner. As the door closed behind them, you turned to Jungkook, who was grinning from ear to ear. See, I told you, she will understand you. No one can resist my wife. Now you have got my mom's approval too. You laughed softly, feeling a sense of peace settle over you. I never thought I would get here, but I am so glad we did. Jungkook pulled you in a tight hug, pressing a kiss to your forehead. You will always have me, Yuan, and now my family too. And in that moment, you realized that everything had fallen into place. Your love for each other had brought you not only happiness but acceptance from the people who mattered most.